Hello and welcome to episode 71 of the Ski Instructor Podcast. My name is Dave Burrows and I'm the director and owner of SnowPros Ski School based here in Valdillier in Switzerland. You catch me on a pretty glorious but cold day and you also catch me in the office. So I had a last minute cancellation this morning. Fortunately, my guest had dislocated her hip or something yesterday. It's pretty bad. And she said she wasn't really able to ski today, which is understandable. So we've rescheduled that. And I've finally got that day in the office that I need where I'm just getting through all of the paperwork, trying to clear as much of it out as possible. And also having a chance to edit this next podcast as well, because we're coming up to the February holidays here and I'm just going to have no chance at all to get back in here for another month or so. So it's been probably here since I last podcasted, one of the best ski seasons that we have had since about 2017, I would say, in terms of the quality of snow. So I've had a lot of people ask me about this, and 2017 here was when the Port de Soleil was one of the snowiest places in the Alps. So that particular season, my memory of that one was just it relentlessly snowed. This year has been slightly different. So I think we've had the same amount of precipitation that we've had as in recent years, but the temperatures have been much, much colder. So that precipitation has come down as snow instead of rain, and the temperatures have stayed cold as well. So consistently every night it's freezing. It's not really got warm at all. We're kind of into February now, and it's still cold. The snow is incredible. It's like every day is hero snow. It's been absolutely glorious. People are having a great time. It's busy. All the restaurants, businesses, hire shops, everyone's kind of having a chance to have a really, really good season, which is good for them because it's been difficult for certain businesses over the last few years with the kind of variable weather that we've had. So everyone's having a good time. Team is going well. Got a lovely team this year. We're working really, really well. Everyone's working hard. Everyone's getting loads of hours. If anything, we're light of one or two instructors, I think, especially as seem to be working more or less a full season. I'm teaching every day, and that is not supposed to happen. I'm supposed to be outside of the rota. But people keep wanting to ski, and they keep wanting to ski with me, which is pretty cool. So it's been an absolutely tremendous season so far, and long may it continue all the way for the next couple of months, all the way into the back end of the season as well. Before we get into Steve part 2, I got some correspondence here from regular correspondent Bill Ross in Montreal. Hi, Bill. How are you? Hope everything is good. Bill wrote to me after the recent Warren Jobbett interview, and he said, hi, Dave. Enjoyed your latest interview with Warren. He's a fellow Canadian, and several things that he said struck home, as in, don't let skiing technique be complicated, and there's really only a few key points to remember when you're skiing, more or less. Bill's paraphrasing a little bit there, and he writes that. Obviously, we're not talking about racing or extreme skiing conditions, but rather for the typical recreational skier right up to the expert level. I would agree with Warren. I took lessons at Stowe in the 1970s and continue to read a lot of technical articles in the old Ski magazine. One thing stood out for me, and I'm consciously aware of it when I'm skiing to this day, and I believe this has helped me immensely in overall balance and parallel technique. Bill's also a fan of Stein Eriksen, old school style, which I still greatly admire. He says, when turning, foot pressure is on the inside edge of the outside ski. You'll often hear about the downhill outside ski in initiating a turn, but very few talk about the inside edge. I wanted to pass on those comments and wish you a good season, and I will continue listening. There's a little bit more in this about apparently Bill carries on. He talks on a little bit here about Bobby Kennedy Jr., who's now part of the American government, I think, and he is a skier, apparently. He used to be a ski racer, Anyway, he says I should contact him somehow, but I'm not sure. I would imagine he's probably pretty busy right now and not interested in speaking to little old me. So, yes, Bill, thank you so much for this. I really appreciate it. And I tell you what, I've used that exact phrase, inside edge of the outside ski, a lot since you mentioned it to me, and it does click on a few light bulbs for people. So thank you for that. And it is a very, very valid point. You know, I think that thing when we talk about outside or downhill ski can be quite confusing for some people. It certainly was for my guest yesterday. And that particular phrase kind of put it all together for him. So appreciate that. Appreciate you pointing me in that direction. And anything that, you know, I can steal that works for me in my lessons, I am more than happy to take, which is great. I also completely agree with you in terms of overall balance and that sort of old school style. And I've talked about this on the podcast before, is that I think in this sort of quest where kind of boots and skis have all become fairly homogenous, it's forced us all to ski in a certain style. And that style is at the upper end where we are in terms of ski instruction and certainly racing. It's kind of narrowed everybody into a funnel where everyone skis the same, and it's all about, you know, power. I think power and, you know, just being strong and all that sort of stuff. And I'm sure I've rattled on about this on the podcast before, but I think something's been lost in skiing since probably the 80s and 90s onwards, the advent of skis with a curved edge, is that a lot of style has gone out of skiing, a lot of sort of personal expression has gone from skiing, and everyone looks a bit kind of the same all the time. It's very hard to impose a stylish sort of looking skier onto equipment that wants to be skied like a skate. And I've been reflecting a lot on that lately. It's made it very, very easy for people to ski, but I think something's been lost in terms of the aesthetics of skiing. So that's just my 2 penneth worth anyway. But thanks for writing to me, Bill. I really appreciate it. So yes, anyway, on to Steve Hindman, episode 2. In Steve's second part of this interview, so the first part was just kind of a what you might call like sort of, you know, personality piece, like how did you get to where you got to. In this one, we get a little bit more into the kind of the technical, and we talk about similarities and differences in terms of the functions of the ski between Nordic cross-country and alpine skiing. We talk about teaching styles, terrains, some chat about the PSIA, and some general stuff about being an American living in Geneva. So I hope that you enjoy this episode, episode 71. I've got how many, Dave? How many have I got in the bag right now? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's at least 4 episodes that I've got waiting to be edited. And so that will take us kind of into the spring. And then I'm actually really highly motivated for this, but I've got like, you know, another 12 or 13 people on my list that I'd love to interview. And my goal at this point is to get to 100 episodes and see where we get to. So, so there you go. Enjoy this episode. Hope you're all well. I hope you're enjoying these fabulous conditions wherever you are, and that you are skiing well and are motivated to ski. Enjoy yourselves, and thank you very much for listening. I very, very much appreciate it. Tell me, let's take this back to something a bit more technical. Because I'm interested to know, you've done a lot of cross country. I don't know whether we can lump Nordic and cross country into the same bucket. Telemark, obviously, I've banged on way too much about telemark on this podcast. I'm going to bore people and switch them off. But what I'm interested in, because I know very little apart from having gone and cross country skied a few times.
Right.
and my recent experiences with ice skating a lot over this winter, is where are the common movements with alpine skiing?
Right.
What crosses over and what does not cross over?
I'm curious, what have you found from skating that crosses over?
Well, I have to be careful because I was talking to Scott about this about 2 days ago, and that will be one of the episodes around your episode. But so my daughter decided she didn't fancy skiing this year. She wanted to skate.
Right.
Fine. Doesn't bother me. A bit less time up the hill, you know, and an empty Olympic-sized ice rink 5 minutes from my house. Right?
Wow.
No one's ever on there. And occasionally you get to go on like the disco nights, you skate around to music, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And
occasionally there's some guys playing hockey, and so you play hockey or whatever with them, and that's really cool. I love that. Started to watch ice hockey. What a game.
Yes.
Oh my God. I'm mad about that right now. Like mad about it. And skating, let me see. A lot of the movements are similar.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the list of things I noticed. Many of the moves are similar in terms of how you turn your legs compared to alpine. There's a turn. I think there's a turning motion of the femur in the hip socket,
right,
in the pelvis, that allows you to turn your feet. Similar. You can make a similar ski move, right, if you want. It's probably not how you're supposed to do it, but you can.
You can, right.
Balance point on the blade is tiny.
Tiny, yes.
Tiny. So you become hyper aware of just what you have, just where you are in terms of balance. You haven't got a huge amount of ski fore and aft to lean on.
Right.
You don't have a front of a boot to hang in because it's just your ankles and knees flexing, so you've got to be balanced right above your feet. When you skate backwards, the movements are similar. I'm not very good at skating backwards right now, but skating backwards in a rough straight line I can do. And the one place you find yourself often once you start to learn to do crossovers in order to gain speed or turn in a fast way,
right,
is that you find yourself pushing off of the inside edge of the inside skate.
Okay.
You see, and you're never there when you're skiing.
Right.
You never want to be there, really.
Right.
You are sometimes there, but not out of choice.
But you're right, yes.
Right? But you never, ever trust. This is an audio podcast, so it's difficult, but you cross, you're balancing on the inside edge of the inside blade, and you're actively picking up the outside skate, crossing it over and pushing off at the inside skate.
Right.
You never be there.
Right.
Never on a pair of skis.
Right.
And that's hard to trust that move.
Yeah.
To see, to be there. I'm like, wow, this is just not somewhere I'm ever. It's completely unfamiliar.
Right.
So yeah, super interesting. They're the main things that I've noticed so far. Hockey stops similar. But the other thing that I really have noticed, point 6, would be when you go back to skis, it's easy.
Right.
So easy to ski. You're like, wow, this is like I wish I'd learned to skate first before I learned to ski.
There you go.
So yeah, that's kind of what I noticed with ski. I don't know how much of that would then translate into a cross-country skating move.
Well, all the small piece of balance, obviously your heel's not attached, there's no front of the boot.
Yeah.
There's no back of the boot to speak of. So people fall on their ass or, whatever.
Yeah.
So you hone your balance on Nordic gear for sure.
Yeah.
And even definitely Telly. Remember one demo team training that we had these little feet, or what they call Bigfoots.
Yeah.
And no one had seen them before. And so the alpine guys get on them, and they're just like, they're down within like 10 turns. They're all down. The Nordic guys get on and like, what's your problem? We're like, like it was no big deal because we weren't used to laying in the front of the boots.
Yeah, sure.
And you quickly feel the back and you realize you can't go back at all.
Yeah.
So, and Nordic skiers probably were too. So we we're not used to that. You know? So I think that's a very much of a similar. Well, I mean, not a similarity, but that's where you want to be in alpine too.
Yeah, except that I think within alpine, whether you like it or not, subconsciously you know that you can lean on the front of the boot and it won't disappear completely unless you're skiing in something that's way too flexy, right?
Exactly.
So I think that is that's the hugest, that would be the biggest difference and thing that you notice a lot with cross country.
Right.
I imagine it's the same in Nordic.
I mean, I think one thing that I will continue developing is moving along the length of the ski more than I think I can learn to move more along the length of the ski than I do.
Yeah.
Because I have so many years of Tele and Nordic in me,
Yeah.
So especially the tail of the ski at the end of the turn is like been a big discovery of mine the last couple of years. Like, oh, you can actually finish the turn back there and keep the ski turning.
Yeah.
Which I never experienced that on other gear.
And you get a bit of a rebound with that as well. I mean, you can add energy into the end of the turn
and stop it from breaking away.
Yeah.
Like it's a big revelation.
Well, I mean, that I use a lot of fore aft when I ski, just because I like the feeling of it actually.
Right.
But I like to end the turn a little bit back.
Yeah.
And then I like to kind of go through what I regard as like a gate, pointing myself, so I actively bring myself forward or bring the skis back under me in order to get to the start of the next turn.
Right.
It's quite a nice feeling, just to kind of, rather than just sort of staying in one spot, I like to kind of move around above my.
And that's another big tie between both classic skiing and skate skiing. Mm-hmm. You're moving yourself through that window to the new ski.
Yeah.
So when you come off that skate ski, it's out here, but you want to be moving through that window so that you and the ski arrive at the same place when you transfer the weight. Does that make sense?
You want to be over the top of the new kind of pushing ski, I suppose you would say.
Well, you want to glide because you just pushed off the other one.
But you need to be balanced above the top of the one that's going to glide.
Correct.
Yeah. And so I guess if you're underneath, it just doesn't go as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, you want to be able to transfer that momentum so you don't get stuck. You want to be in front of the wave, would be another way to think of it.
Yeah.
So if you get behind the wave, then you die every time you move from ski to ski.
Sure.
If you stay a little bit in front of the wave, then gravity and the power of your push-off takes you onto that ski because you want to get a distinct glide in each stride. Otherwise, you might as well walk.
But at the same time, you can't be ahead of that balance point because you haven't got a heel that is fixed.
Well, it can be a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, it can be a little bit. Yeah.
But the balance point is finer. I suppose,
it's finer.
What I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's very small.
Yeah. It's rare to fall forward, truthfully, but
right.
You're more too far outside of it. There's more.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't think it's in regular striding, like diagonal stride, but you're still moving across. There still is a slight diagonal motion, diagonal stride, I guess, onto that ski. It's very crucial you keep that continuous forward motion.
Yeah.
In fact, the current technical manual for cross country is I co-authored, and we came up with a graphic that links all the different elements, which are push-off, glide, and weight transfer, with continuous forward motion. Okay. So it becomes a very good diagnostic. So I'm seeing somebody ski, I don't really think in these terms, but what I'm noticing them, if I'm going to diagnose something that's not working for them, is the break in that continuous forward motion.
Okay.
Where does that momentum get disrupted?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the point. Now, what's disrupting it? And so
is there like a hesitation in between the change? Because you see that often in telemark, don't you? Where you've got someone who finishes a telemark turn, then they'll go. The idea is, depending on how you think about it, but the idea will be a switch from one to the other, either a walk through or a pullback, depending on how I prefer a walk through, but if you two-phase that, as in you stop halfway through the action and then go into the next one. That's not really what we're looking for.
I mean, to me,
fluid
if you ever stop, when you're at the end of your telemark motion, the next one should start.
Mm-hmm.
If you pause, by definition, you're no longer, actively controlling. You've actually paused, and now the ski's going to slide.
Yeah.
You're not moving with the ski anymore.
No.
So that's a way to say it. I think alpine moving with the skis is one of the signs of good skiing and how to ski well. Moving with the skis out cross country. Diagonal stride or skating is also, the goal.
When you're moving on to that new ski, so you finished with the old one and you're skating above the new gliding ski, essentially. Is that ski flat or is it ever so slightly edged? Where is it? Is it edged towards the outside or the inside?
It depends. Always a safe answer in any ski exam.
Oh, for sure, yeah. It depends.
So if I have a lot of glide, I'll land on the outside.
Okay.
Because I want to glide on the flat.
Yeah.
Because just like a downhill skier, the more ski surface area I have on the snow, the faster that ski will go.
Okay.
Because as soon as I glide, by definition, I'm slowing down. Because there's no input. Because I don't, gravity isn't what's pulling me forward.
Yeah.
But I want to maximize the time on that, so I still want to land there so I can kind of roll to it.
Yeah.
But then I'm going to slowly roll to the inside because obviously I need the inside edge to push off of.
Yes.
Because that's where my grip comes. It comes from having that edge in the snow. On a steep hill, the ski will probably never be actually even flat. I just don't have time to glide that long.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to land kind of inside to inside to inside.
Sure.
It's a.
But if you're on a longer, flatter section, you might actually actively arrive on what would be the outside edge and then kind of work it. Andy McCann told me this once a long time ago when we were talking about skating, and actually, skating with an alpine setup.
Yeah.
So just to travel distance on a flat bit, but actually to land on, to start as you skate to that new ski, to start on what would be the
little toe.
The little toe, and then work the ski across gives you extra power and extra stuff.
Exactly.
Whatever it might be.
Same thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Except that's all very much finer on a tiny little cross-country skate, right? These are very fine movements compared to a big ski.
Yeah, I guess.
With fixed binding and a fixed plastic boot.
And the other thing, alpine Nordic ski is narrower at the tip.
Right.
So it wants to go straight. So where if you do that motion you just talked about on an alpine ski, it wants to make an arc.
Yeah.
Back in
That's
front
right.
of you.
Yeah.
Here the ski just keeps going where you want it to go.
So you've got to be very precise about where you point it.
Yeah, and where your center of mass is going. You don't want to. Obviously, if you just ride on it, you're going to stop. You want to be on that ski with your center of mass when you show up, and then start to direct that center of mass away from the ski, which is what actually brings it on edge and what gives you the power. There's the mast of the sailboat out there being pushed by the wind. Your edge is your not dagger. What do you call it? Your just below
keel.
Keel. Thank you. And so the leverage of that mass pushing that way and the keel pushing back the other way squirts the boat forward.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that's what squirts the ski forward. So that's your power. As opposed to classic skiing, you actually stop the ski. That's the really different. People don't realize, like, every time in order to stride forward, you have to actually get the ski to grip the snow. The ski stops. There's no other way to move forward. Otherwise, you just slip out.
So is that then a much more vertical sport in terms of management of pressure up and down?
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a much more zen sport because on a wax ski, especially, every single kick or grip, kick's kind of what it's called, but you're gripping the snow. It's different. You have to develop the feel. Is my ski going to grip? Where do I need to be? How much pressure?
Really?
Does the pressure need to be a little bit more forward this time, a little bit more back?
Yeah.
Because that ski you have to be able to have the body sense of, okay, where do I need to be to get that wax to grip the snow in this exact stride? Because it's not the same as the last stride.
Wow.
Angle's different. The snow's changed. The track is softer, harder.
But because you're fixed into tracks, essentially, because that's...
You don't have to be, but it's
mainly when I
usually,
see them do it.
Yeah, it's usually faster and keeps the skis going the right direction.
But essentially that's more, I guess there's less finesse than the edging movements that are required in cross-country ski?
No, skating feels like being a gorilla and just being like this kind of crude animal, aerobic animal.
All right.
Diagonal stride is this really refined, like a Zen meditative thing.
Right.
Like my consciousness is in the snow in my feet. I'm just trying to find the exact moment to make the ski stop and then explode off it.
Really?
Huh.
How about that?
It's a much more refined sport. Yeah, it takes years to be good. Yeah.
It's amazing how fast some of those guys can go, and you see it done at pro level, right? The Norwegians that do it, it's just what? Or just like they're running,
right?
In some instances.
Well, running, but then the key is when they're running, but there's this long glide between. That's the magic. So yeah, I'm running, but the ski is giving me this free glide.
Right.
So if you don't have that, you might as well run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So it's and then you can mind the pull at the right time and all this kind of stuff. But
yeah. Where does I'm assuming that all the elements are the same. So in terms of getting a ski to do something, pressure, edging, rotation, right? Like in cross country.
As far as going down, like making turns, you mean?
I don't know. I'm asking you because you're the expert.
Okay.
but I would imagine that all of those elements are present in some way.
Sure.
In both skating and classic. I'm guessing less rotation in classic skiing. But
well, you're not trying to necessarily rotate the ski once again because it's going straight. Because in skating the skis are going off to the side, but you're going forward down the track.
Yeah.
So
So that's the rotation in that.
Yeah, in general, and it's not 100%. And this is you could go have a whole podcast on this.
Okay.
But the torso pretty much stays aligned with the direction of travel, and then the femurs rotate out from the hip socket to allow the skis to be going a different direction.
Yeah.
And then you want to be able to your tipping is once again is a combination of angulation and inclination, depending on which phase of the stride you're in.
Amazing.
And there's really very subtle. There's a lot more to it. There is times where you rotate. You take your torso a little bit more where the ski's going for different reasons. But
wow.
So the faster you go, the narrower the skis are. So the more aligned you are with the ski as you're gliding. The slower you're going, the more definitely the north torso is going straight down the track, and you're in this big, wide kind of John Wayne stance.
Yeah.
Cowboy stance for the non-Americans. Horse rider stance.
Everyone understands John Wayne stance. Everyone does. Okay. But how do you? So then, before I get on to, I've got an alpine question for you. But before we get onto that, how do you turn those skis when you're going downhill? Or I've seen those guys doing like a pizza, and I've seen them kind of step turning and stuff.
Sure.
I'm guessing you can't.
Of course you can.
Parallel turn them.
Did Achilles turn his skis?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Well, it's the same principle. You bend it, do you?
Or skid it.
Yeah.
Much more of a flat rotate. Because you don't have the edge is not going to help you at all.
Okay, that's I think what I'm trying to get to. So there's no edge essentially.
Well, there's no metal edge, but there's no side cut. And there's quite a bit of camber, so it's very hard to get the whole ski flat to start with. And when you do like on a classic ski, you can get the grip into the snow, which can be kind of odd, but they're usually stiff enough it doesn't help. So you have to make the ski skid.
Yeah.
It's not going to turn for you.
Okay.
And especially in Telluride, where I was on the hill day after day, I go out nordic skiing, and at least once a year I'd go into some turn and I'd just like tip my skis and just head into the turn and go right off into the woods. It's like right, can't do that.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. Okay.
So it's the old up on weight, turn the skis, skid the ski, do the turn, come back.
Okay.
You can also telly them. I do a lot of telly.
Okay.
of course you can pizza, but it's, and then step turns are the way to keep the most speed usually.
Yeah, it looks like it, right? They're just kind of that's how you would basically, if you just took up ice skating, that's how you get around the corner before you learn more advanced techniques, right? You just sort of step, because I guess same thing, straight blade.
But that's getting speed in that corner is crucial, especially for classic races.
Yeah,
because you're not allowed to skate, but you can step turn through. So when you're basically you're skate turning, so you're really pushing off as much as you can.
Yeah,
so you don't always have your nose over the ski you're stepping on.
Okay. So you're stepping on or off?
You're stepping onto.
Okay. So So you're gradually.
Yeah. I mean, so both skate and classic, if the ski didn't arrive, you'd fall on your face if you're skiing well. Yeah. So you're forward from the ankles at that moment.
Okay.
Because you're moving onto that ski.
Interesting.
And you want to have your momentum move onto it.
A whole nother world I don't know about how to do it. I tried it once or twice and I'm just like...
I mean, one of the things I do both skate and classic is help get people to learn how to actually jump onto the new ski. So you either jump forward, from a stop ski in classic, or jump up a small hill onto the other ski, because that's really the motion you want in both sports.
Yes.
But then you want to eliminate the up, because the up doesn't make you go forward, it just makes you go up. So then you learn how to keep that same mechanic with eliminating the vertical, because the vertical will just waste energy.
I understand.
So it's a great, when people have enough balance to get to there.
And when you're skiing alpine then, what are the sensations that feel the same? So you're skiing about the mountain. Where are the similarities? Where do you find things that feel the same? Or isn't there any?
No, there is. For some reason I went to mountain biking.
No, I don't know anything about it.
I mean, but just the sense that in all those sports when I'm feeling honed, I'm going where I want to go and I'm unaware of the equipment. Okay, yeah. In other words, my body is leading me where I want to go. Yeah. I'm not the equipment. Like in a mountain bike, when I'm in the bike, there's a sense of being in the bike where things are going well. If I'm on the bike, it's awkward. Yeah. Where does that come from then? Does that come from looking where you want to go? Sure. Also anticipating, I'd say, where you want to go. Yeah. To the right degree, There's a lot of that in... at the right time. Yeah. Two-wheeled, it's a human thing, I think. You look where you want to go and you go there. Works somehow. Works in all sports, I think. Right, exactly. You really notice it in motorcycling, which I do a lot of, where the ideal is you arrive at a corner and you would, you're actively turning your head, you're looking at the exit where you want to go, and ideally you wouldn't look back. But the practical realities of life or road surface is that if there's a patch of gravel or something in the middle of the corner, you probably want to check that. Right. But the guys who race on track, for example, they don't bother doing that. They're looking there, and that's all they're looking. It's all because they know what the track is. Yeah. Whereas the road surface is different, so you've got to make a little check as to make sure that's okay. But generally, you want to be looking where you want to go. Same in kayaking, same in ice skating, I guess. Same in skiing. Definitely the same in skiing. Right. The more you can get your head up and look, your body has this miraculous ability to take you there. It's incredible. Well, I think back to your balance point too, that they're being centered on the tool you're using, and the tool that's taking you around. So being whatever ski you're on, like when you're pushing out that ski and then moving on to the new one, you're on that ski until you're on the new one. But being in that balance point, being able to adjust, because you do adjust your pressure when you're gliding on a Nordic ski. Sometimes the snow is very soft. Yeah. In which case you want to be a little bit heel heavy. Okay. To get so the front doesn't get sucked in and plow. Yeah. Sometimes if it's very hard, you can be a little bit more forward and actually get a little more power. That is, you're always adjusting where you are along the length of the ski. Yeah. To maximize glide. Yes. And of course, in alpine skiing, you're managing the pressure along the magnitude of pressure along the ski due to terrain, due to bumps, to is it icier here or whatever. You're always managing that.
Yeah, you're constantly feeling for snow. Is my experience is what am I turning on here right now?
Yeah, the lateral transfer.
Yeah.
From ski to ski is it's very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Okay.
And you're turning your legs independently of your torso.
Yes.
In a variety of situations.
Yeah. So there's actually a huge amount of similarity.
Yeah. Yeah.
I suppose it's gliding across snow, right? Like, I mean, it can't be that different.
Yeah. I was talking to actually my boss at Stevens, but demo team captain on alumni or whatever, but we were talking about, we must have had a bunch of like high level non-skiers in, I don't know what we're talking about. Like, how come an amazing baseball player or basketball player just sucks at skiing? And he's like, well, because they're not used to moving on a sliding surface.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's a separate skill.
Yeah.
And so.
Yes, it is. It is. I think it's within most people though.
Yeah. Somewhere
it's built into us. I don't know where it would come from, but most people, you find if you can walk, you can ski. I think. Not to varying degrees.
Right.
And even if in some instances, I've even taught people if you can't walk, you can still ski. You have problems walking, but I'm sure it's in most people, the ability to kind of adapt to moving or sliding over a surface.
Right. Actually, it's curious because I didn't say it, but we're talking about teaching terrain.
Yeah.
So there's a guy from Alta, Scotty. I'm sorry, Scotty. I don't remember your last name, but
Scotty, if you're out there.
He had a kid. He taught his kid to ski. Without ever saying a single word about how to ski.
Yeah.
What he did was control the terrain. So he kept him on, he only moved the terrain up by a very small degree every day, and he never said a thing about how to ski.
No.
So within him, he learned how to slide and then how to do everything else just by mimicking and by not being scared.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's a huge thing. But that also goes back to terrain, doesn't it? You've got to have the terrain to be able to do that.
Right. But there was an amazing experiment.
Yeah. So. Because I think we've often talked about. I'm sure we've talked about this before, but you can just you can do that. When we used to have kind of relentless. One of the ski schools I worked at, we used to have relentless groups of kids, and so once you have a certain knowledge on how to teach those groups, that all groups, irrespective of how you teach them more or less, all end up roughly at the same level.
Right.
And then you start to wonder why you're there. But more often than but what you could then do is to start to experiment in different styles of teaching them. And so I'd go for whole weeks where I wouldn't really. I'd decide, right, this week I am only doing what the manual used to call guided discovery.
Right.
So I start the week off. So we're going to ski, and if you've got any questions, just let me know. Otherwise, just get on with it.
Right.
And they'd end up in the same level. Right. And then another week you might go command style, and you're like, right, you have to. I'm the sergeant major this week. You have to do everything I say, same level. End up at the same level. And so. I don't know, I suppose there's only a certain amount that you can do each week, but I think if you have the right terrain, you can mess around within the teaching styles and still roughly end up in the same place. You can take those risks and still get there, and you learn a lot about yourself doing that.
And these are kids too, right?
Yeah, that's right, and kids are fairly malleable, right?
Right. Well, they're not hung up on failure.
No, well, yes, exactly.
And that's a giant difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's normal. It's the biggest difference we see, I think, kids versus adult learners.
Yeah.
The adult learners have got so much other mental traffic going on.
So, yeah, totally. It's
hard to get rid of that.
And it's what's fascinating, because after a while, like you said, teaching skiing is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Dealing with the adult learner, is a lifetime of learning.
It's a psychology lesson, essentially, isn't it? You're doing a sort of inadvertent bachelor's degree in psychology.
That's why I became a coach, because I was just fascinated by it. It's I want to do this more.
Yeah.
I not have to be on skis to do it.
Yeah.
So
One of the most interesting things that I got from you when we were teaching groups, you came and did some stuff with us.
Yeah.
Was to do with the snowplow, which I thought was super interesting because there's a million different ways to teach a snowplow. Right. You know, you can teach. There's a number of different ways you can teach the same thing to get the same outcome, more or less. But one of the most simplistic things that I ever saw anyone teach, or maybe it was in a demo session you did with us or something. It might have been an early pre-season training, but you talked about as you came to the turn. And you traverse and you came to the turn, and you very simply talked about just flattening off the inside ski, right, using a sort of a knee movement or whatever it was. I was like, of course, it's so simple. Why didn't I think of that?
Right.
And you got that, but I'd never seen that before. And I thought, that's genius. And I took it and I've used it ever since.
Nice.
I'm guessing that might have been a PSIA thing because I'd never seen it.
Well, it was one of the criteria at that point for whatever exam. Like one of the keys you had to do was that ski needed to move first.
Yeah.
Because then you're moving towards the turn.
Yeah.
If because a lot of people will edge the other ski harder. You now moved away from the turn. You've disrupted your forward motion. You now have to recover from that movement away from the ski. Mm-hmm. So you're teaching habits that will have to be broken later.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that is one thing that's always I wouldn't say fascinated me, but it's always frustrated me about the process of learning how to ski is that we give the snowplow only to take it away at a later point.
Exactly.
To unlearn it.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Totally.
But I have seen other systems in effect where they do straight to parallel, and I think you do miss something if you don't learn the snowplow.
Yeah.
But I wish there was a more progressive way to take it away than what we currently do, because we add it, we tell them this is the be all and end all, right? This is how you stop. Right. This is how you turn. Right. And then 2 or 3 steps later, maybe 2 steps later, essentially, you're saying, don't need this anymore. Just turn both your feet at the same time. Right. Or you hope that it arrives in some sort of magical way.
I mean, the accepted way, or the way that most American instructors are taught, is to start out in terrain where you can simply turn both feet to in a mild snowplow to turn. Yeah. Now you may, depends on your terrain. You may first get people to be able to control speed and stop in a regular old snowplow. Yeah. High edge. So they're not going to hit other people. They're not going to go over the little push at the end of the carpet and go flying over the fence. But once that happens, then turnings, our goal is to introduce turning by turning the legs. Turning the legs on a gently edged ski.
Yes, because often especially if the slope is too steep, the inside leg gets forgotten.
Totally.
To be turned.
Yeah, and get railed.
Yeah, and then you're in all sorts of a weird place because the back edge of the inside ski is like hooking into the ground. You can't turn it, you can't release it. All sorts of other stuff, right?
And you're back anyhow.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you have to be very careful, but that goes back to what we were talking about with beginner terrain. Yeah. If it's too steep, you're building in all sorts of problems for further down the line because you're teaching someone to cruise about in a breaking snowplow all the time.
But what else are you going to do?
You have to ski the terrain you're given.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Do your best. There's a ski. Oh boy, it was on my memory here, but it's a company that is very big on building terrain parks for teaching in the States, and so they try to get rid of all that by simply having the terrain such that you can traverse. And it makes the ski turn.
Yeah, like banks.
Really gently banks and all this, so that really the terrain makes the skis do what you want to do. I don't know whether it's still happening, but Land used to make a learner ski that was actually beveled.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So those edges were beveled up. I think not in the foot, but I'm not exactly sure. But so it very much responded. It instantly went to that kind of easily edged ski.
That's interesting. Yeah. No, there's a ski school in Bilal that does direct parallel. thing, and they've got a huge stock of like short skis.
Yeah.
Short,
Yeah.
and they go gradually longer. But you do need to have the snowplow in case you're caught in
Of course.
a tricky spot.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to do it. I hope with their method. I've never seen their method before. I've never seen them on the beginner slope, so I don't know where they go to after that. But I'm guessing, I think it's called ski evolutif or something. It's an old school thing that no one does anymore, but it was a
Well, GLM used to be the thing at some point.
And what they do is, I'm like I say, you hope they build in the snowplow, because you find yourself really in the shit at some point. Sometimes you need a big snowplow.
Right. Well, but the thing is, you can snowplow with small skis.
Yeah, it's whether they teach it, because I see them starting step turn.
Okay, right.
And I'm guessing that they evolve it from there, but I don't know. I've never seen enough of it.
We had a short phase of direct to parallel in the ski school, whatever. And I think what we concluded is some people actually are better at that than the snowplow approach.
Yeah.
Some people aren't.
No.
So it's person specific.
Yeah.
So if people can't snowplow but they seem to be kind of turning, well then
Just adapt, right?
adapt to it, and then at some point they're going to know. They're going to be open to the idea they need to have the emergency stop.
Yeah. No, you're
Like,
right.
how do you do that? Sorry.
Yeah, you can't immediately hockey stop everything. But yeah, it's true. You do get people like that. Especially some that have had maybe some experience of other sliding sports, right? They might be skaters or something, and then with all the skaters, you just take direct parallel. No problem. Yeah, easy.
Everything works, right? I mean, like I used to do a heli ski camp in Telluride, so it's basically just getting people used to deeper snow, how to get up in deep snow, and just how to even walk, because people would exhaust themselves walking to the helicopter.
Yeah.
You don't realize it, but you know how to walk in deep snow. You don't just plunge down. You gently wait. It's a big deal. But one of the things I always do would teach them how to do a stem turn, because there at least you sometimes have to go through little weird passages in the trees to get to the next slope.
Yeah.
And like you're on this like thing you don't want to make a full turn on, so you jam that outside ski up the hill behind you, and then you step on it, and then you go around the turnaround and you're turned, And people are like, I can do that, because they've been all taught like don't stem, don't focus on, it's like no.
Do whatever you need to do.
This is incredibly useful in the right place.
Yeah, and it's fine to do that.
Yeah. Because now you've safely made a turn in a tricky spot. You haven't exposed yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you fall, you're going to fall on your inside.
Yeah.
But up the hill.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
So.
Yeah. No, I agree. Couldn't agree more. All right. What have you got there? What's that?
We haven't really went through the. This is just you asked about the current process, standard pathway, what's going evolution of PSIA.
Yeah.
I brought this out because two things. PSA Aussie as well, has moved from examination to assessment.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So there's no one judging you too hard.
Well,
in the moment.
Yes and no. And I was asking about this, and it's like, well, the thing is that it's not an educational clinic.
Right.
And he had a very good point. When you show up to perform, that's a different mindset. If somebody but if they start to bring learning into it, you may actually degrade their ability to perform. Because if they're a good learner, then failure is not only not bad, it may even be, desirable.
Yeah.
If you're learning, you're trying something new.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So they're very clear. This is a performance. You're coming to meet a certain criteria.
Yeah.
But the big things, as I understand, is that first of all, it's very, very transparent. Like all this stuff I printed this from the website. This is the same form the assessor will use, so you know exactly what is going to go on.
Yeah.
You can ask any questions. It's very much a collaborative. Here's what we're going to do. Here's when we're going to do it. We've already been through the standards and all that.
Yeah.
So it's.
So you're saying that just to be clear, so the PSA is now moving to what you might call it like a continual assessment basis, rather than this is the exam.
you still go and pay your money and show up at a certain time for this pass or fail experience.
Okay, so that hasn't gone away.
Right.
So what is it that has changed then? Or you're just saying that they're showing the assessment criteria and this is black and white in terms of if you can do this?
Well, it's hard to say. Instead of in skiing, can you do a pivot slip? Can you do a skidded parallel turn? Can you do we call it an open parallel turn? Can you do a dynamic parallel turn? It's like, okay, based on today's conditions in this group, we're going to look at the fundamentals of skiing at level 3 in a pivot slip, in a open parallel turn, and in a hockey stop. I mean, that's just totally random.
Sure.
It could be anything. So it's not about how much your legs were turned against your upper body in the pivot slip. It's like, were you exhibiting balance along the length of the ski? Were you exhibiting the ability to move your balance laterally? Were you able to turn your legs underneath the stable upper body? Were you able to control the magnitude of pressure along the length of the ski?
Yeah.
So there's 5 fundamentals. I think I may have missed one.
Okay.
But still, they're not judging your maneuver. Are you able to exhibit the fundamentals at the level that you are being tested or being assessed at?
Okay.
Which is, used to be like, okay, what are the stupid pet moves this year for the exam?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
so
how
it's
they
all
have to
been
look and
codified to a certain extent.
Well, but that takes a lot more skill on my point. I can't just say, okay, you didn't, I saw your left hip turn with your ski a little more on that pivot slip. No. It's like I have to be able to help you understand which of the fundamentals you weren't able to demonstrate in that maneuver. And that's, and why I gave you a 3 when you needed a 4 to pass.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
But and then over the big picture, the idea is like, is this person able to successfully give a lesson to a level 3 client? And it's like that's what they're assessing. They're not assessing the guy's ability to ski, the guy or girl's ability to ski, or their exact, right words to say. It's like based on how this person analyzed their fellow peers, what they did in the clinic with them, and the results they got, and they're based on their own skiing, could they successfully teach that client that walks in the door at these different levels?
Okay, and that's clear within the criteria. Yeah. So it's less subjective from the examiner's point of view. So, Johnny over there has either got it or he hasn't got it.
It's probably a little more subjective in a sense.
Right.
I mean, that's always been the tension. Yeah. I've seen this go back and forth to being more this way, and then to be very precise. Like you have to have your pinky here and your thumb hooked on your belt loop. Because then I can tell you that your pinky was down, and you can't argue. Yeah. But then that doesn't get to the essence. And so when you really are assessing someone's essence and true ability to perform or to deliver a product, it has to be a little, in a sense, subjective.
It's the other way around, actually.
I mean, it's both are true, right?
Yeah.
It's more relevant, put it that way.
Okay.
So I think, to me, it'd be take more attention, and it'd be kind of I have to really invest as the assessor. Yeah. It's like, I'm not going to check you off a bunch of boxes. And I'm going to spend the time with you and try to create the situation where I can see whether you actually can be trusted with this person that wants a bump lesson on the blacks. Not trusted, whether you'll be successful. Yeah. Or whether you're lacking some basic skill, like so you basically aren't really picking up that the client you're working with is scared.
Yeah. Okay.
Or you haven't really seen that they're so much throwing their body at the beginning of the turn that they're not balanced on the outside, on the outside ski where they need to be. Yeah. Or they fall behind, can't control pressure along the length of the ski as they come out of the turn.
What are those changes, though? It's a change, is it? And if so, what's it in response to? Is this just an idea to make it clearer across all of the regions coming together?
Well, I'm not sure about this either, at least 5 years ago, the organization returned to a giant focus on people skills. That, that's front and center, that I need to be able to...
to relate to Mr. X in front of me, right?
Yeah. I need to teach a person to ski. I'm not teaching skiing.
Yeah.
It's kind of trite, but it changes everything if you keep that front and center.
Okay.
So I think then the process of assessment, the process of clinicking people towards that assessment that's been its focus, like to take those people skills and make them be able to be seen in how people teach clinics, and then how people assess skills.
Okay.
Or abilities.
Yeah.
Abilities, probably a better word to say. It's come and gone, but the other thing is that all this is what they are creating as a standard throughout the nation. So
right. Okay.
the huge process to get everybody on board has brought in all these minds and interest and experience, and so to come to something, an agreement they can all agree upon. I assume this has been a great mind meld that's been guided by, we want to have people that are really ready to teach these lessons.
So it's the evolution of the focus, right? So the focus of everything is like, there's Mr. Client over there.
Yeah.
And the initial focus was, or the shift of focus was, okay, we've got to make sure that this guy has a really, really good time. Initially is like, you make sure you're a great host and all that sort of stuff. That's like the soft skills element to it, right? How to relate to people and all that stuff. But at some point, got to teach them how to ski.
Right.
So then the next, I'm guessing what follows through from that is like, how do I identify faults and then fix them? Right? That's what we're doing, isn't it? If that's what the client wants.
Or how do you partner with them? Like, how do you know how to relate to them on an emotional basis, on a safety basis, on a how they think, how they learn basis, on what they're actually there for, what versus what they say they're there for, all that kind of stuff. But then use that knowledge to then help them reach their ski goals.
Yeah.
But then also, as you do that, what is good skiing?
Wow.
And so we were very, U.S. was famous for bringing in the skills concept, and now the skills concept is still there, but it's focused on the fundamentals, because the problem with the skills concept is like, how do I know? How does that show up? How do I know that you have an edging skill? By watching you ski? It's pretty amorphous.
Yeah.
What is actually the result?
Yes.
So now the fundamentals define that within anything that you're doing. So I can are you edging with inclination and angulation? Angulation.
Yeah.
Or like your podcast about how much anticipation in a turn.
Yeah.
Or not really. All that. How much? How twisted you are.
Yes.
It's like, get rid of that. And so what's the result of it? Is it showing the fundamental of controlling the pressure or distributing the pressure from ski to ski? Are you able to turn below the stable upper body?
Yeah.
Without defining exactly when, but are you just plain able to?
Is the skill there?
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you can decide.
Fundamental.
Yeah, once the skill's there, then you can decide how much or a little you want to use of it, right, in any given situation.
Yeah. So as I assess you, I don't assess you whether you do this one thing right, but whether you can demonstrate the fundamentals of good skiing.
And at some point you have to write those down.
Yeah. But
this is something that is going to end up being pretty uniform then across all 8 regions.
8 regions, yeah.
As they come closer together in the next few years.
Correct.
Cool.
Which is a giant project.
It's a big country.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Yeah. A lot of turf in a sense.
Well, that's the other thing I would say. Is you've got people, I guess, who are powerful in their own region.
Right.
Might not want to give up that. Yeah. That little domain.
But I think there's a lot more mixed too, because Colorado and those kind of resorts pull instructors in from everybody.
Yeah.
So it's a big yeah, I'm going to train you in this podunk hill here,
Yeah.
but you're going to have the skills and the experience, and you're going to be able to be ready, you know,
To go somewhere.
To go
It
there.
should be portable, right? Like
Yeah,
if you're buying into something that is called PSIA,
yeah,
it should be uniform. So you should be able to take that from, you know, born on one side of the country, you should be able to take it to the other, and it should be recognised, right?
But
I mean,
it's tough. It's a big one, you know.
it kind of is, yeah. We have that problem here in Europe, don't we? Insofar as there's a million different ski instructor organisations, and you don't always necessarily. I showed you a CV, I think, or that I'd received earlier, which is, I don't know, I think it's Argentine level 2. Now I have no idea what's in that.
Right.
No idea, and so I could probably work it out. But it will be the same, you know. Like I have people writing to me with all sorts of different qualifications. I just have no idea. Yeah. There's an ISIA chart, which I suppose is very useful for us because it kind of lets you see what that is equivalent to.
Okay.
There is a chart that tells you. I can't say I've seen it in recent years because I tend to see the same qualifications, but every now and then you get something really like a real left field one. Right. I have no idea what that is. Never heard of it. You know, and that would be a similar challenge to what probably you've got. Yeah. But I suppose at least yours is in the same language.
Yes, that does help.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, also, it's I think the goal too. I remember watching. Maybe this is a misperception too, but I think from my experience in interski and just being involved, there's a lot of respect for the customer service and client-centered approach from the States.
Yes.
But always a little bit like, yeah, but they don't ski like us. You know?
Yeah, well, yeah.
But and I think that's okay with everybody in the States, you know, because the idea is that we're skiing as we are, but with our own but be able to all show the same fundamentals.
Yeah.
You know, because I remember watching interski in one of the pre-season trainings with Julian, you know, and there's all this, you know, it's basically, well, these people kind of ski like this, but these people don't ski like this, or these people ski like that, and then the Americans all came down. Each one of them skied very different from the other Americans.
Oh, interesting.
Let alone,
depending on region, right?
Yeah. And then actually in the condition, I'm thinking, they kind of hacked, very truthfully, but
if, let's say you're from Colorado and you ski paddle all the time, and your training or whatever for interski is in levee and it's sheet ice,
right?
Of course, you're going to look a bit out of order.
I mean, you hopefully can come up, but the focus, I think part of it comes down to is like organizations more focused on the result for the client than being able to perform at an event like that.
Well, and I suppose as a ski school director, my point of view is that's what I'm focused on. Right, because without clients and without clients having a good time, you got nothing.
Yeah.
You could be the best skier in the world, but you'd be standing around just skiing for yourself.
Right.
So, sure, that's the product.
Yeah.
It's what you're selling, and I think people get lost sometimes in their own ego and show what an amazing skier I am. It's fine, but you're not the one paying the bills. The client is the one paying the bills, and it's important that they get exactly what they need rather than the other way around. They're not here just to watch you be good. Right? It's not how it works. Yeah. If you want to do that, go and be on the World Cup.
Exactly.
Because that's where people go to watch people be good.
Yeah.
Last one, if I can, because we've going quite a long time now. What I'm curious to know as an American who landed, because we've got a lot of clients who are in the same position. Right. Your wife got a job here, and you're here in Geneva, beautiful part of the world. How do you like it? What have you noticed that's different, better, worse, whatever? Like, how are you finding it? Just on a human level.
Well, that's complicated because I never lived in a city. Well, I lived in Seattle, but only part-time when I wasn't in Colorado. So the whole urban experience is different. I'd rather have more, have a house with space outside. Sure. But that's kind of not really Europe American.
Yeah.
the amazing things are like the train systems, the tram systems, being able to jump on a train and go to the shop, go to Verbier, although I usually drive because I have stuff to stay, but be able to go backcountry, on backcountry trips, jump on the train, get off, take a cable car, go on this amazing hut-to-hut trip, show up somewhere way the heck gone, get on a train, come home. Or take a bike ride for a day, go climb some legendary pass, and be home for dinner.
It's true.
So
it's true. I had to buy a new car recently, and not old new car new to me, and I had to go and pick it up from somewhere in the Swiss German bit near the German border, and I jumped on a train near my house, relatively near my house, and it was seamless. I couldn't believe how easy it was. You just get off at one station, 2-minute wait, train leaves, next journey, 2-minute wait, next leave, jump on a bus, and it dropped me directly outside this car showroom, and I was like, that's actually really amazing. It's a miracle.
Yes.
A real.
And you probably got your ticket on Easy Ride by swiping the app. Right?
It's absolutely incredible. Yeah, you're right about that. That is, as I understand it in the US, like the car is king. You can't do anything without a car.
Can't do anything. No. Just do spread out. And the other thing, at least especially in Switzerland, but in Europe, not 100%, but the infrastructure is so well set up. Like, better cell service than at Geneva in the middle of the French Alps, and I do it at my house in Seattle. Why? And just the roads, just the infrastructure is maintained. It's well made. It works. Of course, the flip side is there's people everywhere. I've been on hikes that I thought I was getting away, and then I'd hear music and show up, and there's a 8-piece oompa band playing at the bar with alpine horns. It's like, what?
That's true.
Which is charming,
No, but there are people crawling all over the mountains here. You can't get away.
But that's why there's amazing infrastructure. I can just pull up my app and be able to hike and ski so easily. There's all this information at my fingertips. So there's that. I really miss the inbounds, out of bounds skiing in the States, being able to just jump in the trees and
just go, right? No fear.
Know where I'm going like that. And be able to go. COVID has put a lot of people in the backcountry, but still you can get out and get away from people. Although truthfully, touring here, I haven't seen that many people in the winter, so that's not quite fair.
In a lot of places, it's a scary prospect, isn't it? The terrain is so big. You don't really know what you're doing. The more you know about avalanche stuff, the more I know personally, the more fearful I am about going to places. You can take certain calculated risks these days, but I don't go anywhere dangerous these days. I'm just not interested in that.
Well, I was doing some avalanche forecasters in my life, and and they've done it for a career. So if I'm 99.9% accurate, and I've spent 2,000 days in the backcountry, it means I'm lucky to be alive. Because 2 of those days I was totally wrong.
It's true. It's true. But I do like that. I remember speaking on one of the early podcasts of the series was to a guy called Ali McGrain, who was at Mammoth now. I think he's at Mammoth now. Hi Ali, if you're listening. And but I think he was at North Star maybe then at that point. But he was saying that was the same thing. Just hadn't touched his avalanche transceiver for years. Because you want to go and ski powder, you just go. It's assumed that it's okay.
Right.
And
this was where?
I don't know. I think at that time he was at North Star.
Oh, within the ski area.
Okay. This is the point. But he could just go wherever you want. Like it's fair game.
Right.
And I guess all you'd have to do is just get up early, right?
Get up early. It depends where you're at. Sometimes know the right places. Know how to run the mountain. Because always once you become a local, you know how to stay ahead of the crowd.
Okay.
Skip the first one and then you're one step ahead.
No, but that is
Or like the other thing, the snowpack. The Pacific Northwest gets tons of snow. Tends to be pretty mild temperatures. So if it hasn't snowed recently and nothing's been weird, you can ski like 45-degree slopes with deep snow. But we all show up in BC where it's very different. We're like, we have a guide for the first time, thank God. It's like, can we ski there tomorrow? He's like, I slow spin skied twice in 40 years. Like, why? Well, because it slides, like we're all like mystified,
Yeah. It's well, the other thing I think about here is it's the same problem. There's so many people, and a lot of people with not a lot of knowledge, so stuff gets tracked out real quick.
Yeah.
You will have seen that on Verbier powder days,
For
right?
sure.
Like it's just everything you see, people just everywhere, and that's getting, and without wishing to sound like an old man shouting in the wind, the advent of fat skis, which means that more people can access more off-piste.
Of course, and better bandonnet gear.
Yeah.
I mean, the major Western resorts, the side country gets tracked out really quickly as well, for sure. Because it's the thing to do.
Yeah, sure.
It's the thing to do. The number of pin bindings on the hill are crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're not really that safe at speed.
Yeah.
But the other thing I miss live music. Live music in the States is so much more ubiquitous.
Really?
Yeah, just little venues or bigger ones, but there's just so much more touring bands, and it's just part of the culture in such a bigger way.
Really?
I mean, here it's either these giant festivals where there's 1,000 people and everybody's like it's noisy and the main guy comes on at 1 a.m. You go to a nice place, the music starts at 8, it's done by 11:30.
Yeah.
It's some great bluegrass or jam band.
Really? That's interesting. I've never heard that perspective before.
Yeah, it's so much more live music. It's so much more accessible.
You miss that?
Miss out a lot.
Yeah.
Huh. And just being able to visit friends, like I was, just in disparate places. We're out in the San Juan Islands and no one's there catching crab, fill crab. We go out there and show up somewhere and have a fire at a friend's house, just in the side yard. And it's just...
That's the hardest thing about this life, like being away from where you are from, is you miss your old friends. Yeah. I really struggle with that, and I have a sort of a rotation that I do every 3 months. I go back to London, hang out with my mates, like for a weekend, one weekend.
Nice.
Because I have to, because life's pretty lonely here, frankly. From that perspective.
Right.
I've got mates here, but they are. I could count on maybe one hand the number of people that I'm really close to here, and not even maybe one hand, not including the thumb. But I go home and see my old, it's like the old friends, people you grew up with, that's what I miss a little bit. I miss that a lot, and that's becoming more important to me the older I get. Is not to lose that connection, which is why I'm prepared to travel. Yeah, and it's not hard to get to actually. EasyJet to London is nothing. Yeah, especially out of season. Yeah. So that's worth it for me. Yeah,
the West Coast thing is. Last 2 times I come back, like the jet lag has been rough for me.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Going that way is fine, but the other way I just struggle with it. So it takes me a week. I lose a week pretty much.
I don't like to fly that much, so I don't have a jet lag problem. My flights are limited to about 90 minutes.
But it was a totally different feel, between the Europe and the States. And and you get the good and the bad, everybody's familiar with the craziness of politics and just guns and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And that's gone way over the top, but there's something about that James Dean essence that you just go do what you want. That is kind of in me,
I agree with you. That's exactly my mindset. I hate being told what to do, and I want that freedom. But you are. Do you know that you are in Switzerland, sitting here in the second most armed country in the world? Yes. Just not as visible, I guess.
Right. I mean, I grew up. Well, I shouldn't know that, but I grew up hunting and all that, and it seems like a similar approach. Like, this is a gun. This is how you treat it.
Yeah.
You treat it with respect. You're taught how to use it. It's not a toy. It's not a sign of manhood or anything else. It's and it's very deadly.
Yeah.
You want to use it for very specific things. Like for us, it was hunting. Yeah. And even that was a revered kind of almost a tradition passed down with lots of reverence.
Yeah.
You don't do it like you don't just kill things to kill things.
No.
You eat what you kill and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of the hunting that's done here in Switzerland is to control population of certain animals that if left unchecked would be all over the place.
Well, the hunting fell off in the States, and there's a problem with that. There's tons of deer killed on the road. There's, millions of dollars of damage to cars, and then a lot of urban areas are just denuded. Not urban, like fringe areas. Because the deer are just
everything
everywhere. Yeah.
Curious. Well, what a way to win the podcast.
Oh, thank you.
You never know what tangents and topics you get to. So,
I mean, people ask me which one's better. It's like it's so different.
No, you can't say that.
It's so different. And the other thing is, these Alps are huge. I mean, the Alps are giant. That's the other thing. It just
go on forever.
You never get over how big the mountains are and how powerful the storms are and how just that kind of thing. So, and then Geneva's a beautiful place because I can go anywhere from here. I'm in the middle.
Well, that is true.
So convenient.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a real hub, and it's not actually, as towns go, it's quite a big city. It's the second biggest city in Switzerland, but it's tiny, really.
It's tiny.
It's not that big.
No.
And it's very kind of travelable, so you can get across it real easy.
We call it a town with a big city traffic problem.
Yeah, the traffic's a murder. Absolutely terrible. Yeah. Where could
thank you.
If people want to ski with you, where can they find you? Like, where would you? I don't know. Like, if people want to get in touch with you for whatever reason, give everyone a chance to
right.
tell. So.
I mean, I do have a website called skiwithsteve.com.
All right.
Pretty simple. Hasn't been updated in a very long time, but you can still contact me through there.
You also do some personal coaching, don't you?
I do some, yes. So that's stevehindmancoach.com.
Okay.
And of course, this winter I'll be working for both European Snow Sports and for the SnowPros. So,
well, excellent.
Other good places to get a hold.
Great places to find you.
Yeah.
Well, listen, thank you so much for welcoming me to your home.
Of course.
Thanks for taking the time.
Oh.
And wish you luck with the coming winter season. Not long now.
Not long now, and I same with your kayak. I'd really like to get on the water with you.
Oh, I would love to. So let's see if we can do that. We'll find a way to do it. There's places that rent proper kayaks, so we can go and do that.
Up like
definitely in Alamo. Yeah, down there. There's a guy. I saw a guy, so I'm getting to know more about it. When I find out more, I'll let you know.
Okay, great.
Cool. Thanks.
All right.